What's good, everybody? And today, no formal introductions. Today, we're going to get straight into the point. And today, we're going to go into the world of professional wrestling. What do I mean by that? I'm glad you asked. We're going to be predicting WWE's Evolution's pay-per-view for this Sunday, July the 13th, 2025, which is being held in Atlanta, Georgia. Let me get my city right before I'm right. Atlanta, Georgia at the State Farm Arena, where it's an all-women's pay-per-view. So the women are getting their shine. The only unfortunate thing is that it's being challenged by AEW big pay-per-view All In, and this year's not in Linden, this is in Texas, so they're getting challenged by that. So the women has a hard stepping point to catch in terms of what I think the All In pay-per-view is going to be, because I think that's going to be an all-time pay-per-view. But this is not an AEW topic, this is a WWE topic, so let's stay on that. So I'm gonna give you my predictions for each match that's happening on the card, and I'm gonna tell you who I think will win and what happens after the pay-per-view, because right around the corner is SummerSlam, and that is 2 weeks away after this Sunday. So a lot of pay-per-views happening, and a lot of things are happening within the time crunch. So let's just get started. So this is not, I'm looking through the Wikipedia website of the match order that they have. I don't think this is going to be the match order per se, but I'm just going to rotate it. So let's start with the first match. Jacy Jayne versus Jordynne Grace for the NXT Women's Championship. And for the past couple weeks, this rivalry has started to heat up a little bit with the addition of Blake Monroe, known as Mariah May, which she made her debut in WWE as Blake Monroe, as I said earlier, and she's been feuding with Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley and Jasmine Nix. I forgot the group's name, but they've been feuding with these three ladies, them two versus these three ladies. And at the night before, at the Great American Bash, there's a tag team match between Blake Monroe, Jordynne Grace versus that particular group right here. I forgot the name of the group, so I apologize for that. But we're just going to focus on the NXT Women's Championship match. But when this match first got announced, I had Jacy Jayne winning this match because I just think she just held in the title. You want to make her title feel legitimate by being a legitimate star in Jordynne Grace, and I think Jordynne Grace is supposed to be heading to the main roster soon. And don't get me wrong, I still have Jacy Jayne winning, but I'm really not as confident as I was 2 weeks ago when this match, or a week ago when this match first got announced. And the reason I'm not as confident is because the partnership between NXT and TNA has been so great and so profoundly impactful for TNA that Slammiversary is around the corner, which is next weekend. And at Slammiversary, TNA has made a match for title between their TNA championship and Masha Slamovich and the winner of this match. And I had Jacy Jayne before the match, but with Jordynne Grace ties to TNA, I would not be surprised if they decide to run this match back. Jordynne Grace lost the title to Masha Slamovich, and Jordynne Grace, although she transitioned to another company, would love to get her hands on Masha Slamovich because she feels that, Masha took away, the one thing that she held, that she loved the most, and that was that TNA Knockouts Championship. So, I think I still have Jacy Jayne win just because it's a fresher matchup. We have seen Jordynne Grace and Masha Slamovich on pay-per-view before at Bound for Glory, and look, Summerversary is a big pay-per-view, but I think for a fresher matchup, I would like to see Jacy Jayne and Masha Slamovich. So I will say I have Jacy Jayne retaining her title against Jordynne Grace, not only making the title legitimate for Jacy Jayne, but also bringing a fresher perspective matchup with Masha Slamovich next week at Slammiversary. And I would not be surprised, honestly, if WWE and TNA decides to let JC Jane be double championship. Now, Masha win. I think Masha might win, but I would not be surprised if they take the title off of JC for Masha to hold it. But the addition of Blake Monroe is interesting because a lot of people have said that that Blake Monroe might betray Jordan Grace, leading it to a feud, but I just don't see it happening with Jordan Grace addition to the main roster very imminently. I hope I said that right. So that's just my prediction on that matchup. Next matchup I want to talk about is Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus. I'm not going to go too long into this. This is just a I wouldn't call it a filler match, but this is just a matchup based off respect, because Tiffany Stratton literally said, well, Trish, you team up with me and I appreciate you, so I decided to choose you for my title. Dumb reason why I choose somebody for a title shot, but hey, it is what it is. But I have Tiffany Stratton winning. I think it's good to see Trish in the ring again, going after gold, but I don't have her winning. I think the plan is clear that Tiffany Stratton will be heading to SummerSlam as the champion. She will face Jade Cargill, and therefore we will get Tiffany versus Jade at SummerSlam. So that's why I chose this match next, because this is not a long matchup. Next matchup I want to talk about is the Judgment Day versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Sol Ruka and Zarya versus the Kabuki Warrior of Asuka and Kairi Sane, and a fatal 4-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, I'm going to be honest. I had the Judgment Day retaining until I seen the tag team of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, and they've been amazing so far. And you know what? The ladies tag division has been so dire, and the situation has been so dire that I feel like it needs a reset. And what better way to have it a good reset than putting the titles on Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, a team that's not a team that just got made up within the last week, but they can put on good matches. They can tell good stories in that division, and including that dissension with them trying to defend the tag titles. And then when it all implodes, they get to face each other when it really counts. And I have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss winning those tag titles. I think they will win it for sure, and give them for the other teams. I think for the Judgment Day, they're gonna still be in the story with the decision of the Judgment Day 3.0, whatever y'all want to call it. But basically just, Sol Ruka and Zarya, I think this matchup will start the Sol Ruka and Zarya rival. I think this matchup will start it. Because they already teased it a little bit with the inadvertent spear by Zarya to Sol Ruka, but I think this match, Sol Ruka gets betrayed by Zarya, forcing Zarya to turn heel, and then Zarya takes the title off of Sol Ruka eventually. But this matchup, and I would say the same with the Kabuki Warriors, honestly, somewhat. Asuka and Kairi Sane, Asuka just came back, Kairi just came back. You don't want to have them being stuck to a tag team again for such a long time. I think both of them are talented individuals. And I think let's experiment a rivalry between them, because we never really seen them rival since their NXT days. And now you can bring it to the main roster, and it's fresh. It's been a long time since the rivalry happened. I think it would be a good change of pace. So for that, I will have Charlotte and Alexa Bliss win this matchup. Next matchup I want to talk about is the Battle Royal for a World Championship match at Clash in Paris. Let me say this matchup because it's going to tie into what I think the main event is. So I'm going to say that matchup. Sorry about that. Let's go to Jade Cargill versus Naomi. There's very different perspective to this. I think Jade Cargill wins. You don't want to have her momentum halted heading into SummerSlam. She just won Queen of the Ring. She has a momentum going. The last thing you want is to have Jade Cargill lose in a match that feels very important into determining to winning. And determining to not only propel her forward to SummerSlam, but given that momentum. I think Last Legend will be an introduction for Naomi, potentially. Don't know. Don't count me on it. But that's how Naomi will win. But I think Jay need this win more than Naomi, because Naomi's going to get her big win eventually when she cashes in that Money in the Bank. So I have Jay winning, and keep that momentum going into SummerSlam. Next matchup is a great matchup. I think this is one of the best, how I put it, well-rounded rivalries from start to finish in the company, women's rivalry in the company right now. And that is Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Live Valkyria. I think Becky Lynch retains the title heading to SummerSlam with the Intercontinental Championship, and I think we will get a extension of the Bayley and Live Valkyria rivalry, and they will face each other in another one-on-one match at SummerSlam. This rivalry has been great to start to finish, and everybody's thinking, and here's the crazy thing about this rivalry, although it's been 2 months, every week on Raw it has gotten a feature. So although it feels like it's been short, each week of every month has been, well, let me phrase it. It did start in April at WrestleMania. So this is low-key been a good 2 to 3 month build plan. So I give WWE credit in terms of that, bringing prestige back to that IC title. I hope they do the same with Julia holding the title. But bringing that prestige back to the IC title, and I think this match is gonna cook. But I do have Becky Lynch winning. I don't want to go over the 15-minute video length that I had planned for this, so let's keep going. Next matchup is the participant battle royal for the World Championship Clash in Paris. I think everybody is right when I tell you who should win, and I think they will win, and that will be Stephanie Valkyria, which is going to lead into the main event. Why do I think Rhea Ripley will win? But before we get to the main event, I think Stephanie Valkyria will win this matchup because she's been on the company for a little while. She's very over with the fans, and I think this is the perfect place to get a jump start, and you will have each month to build to Clash in Paris, because I think Clash in Paris, if I'm not mistaken, is in October. Oh no, that might be Perth. I don't know, but Clash in Paris is just a little bit after SummerSlam, so you have time to build towards that, and I think that'll be a good plan for Stephanie, a good place for Stephanie Valkyria to win the Battle Royal, to get a shot. So I got Stephanie winning, which leads me to the main event that I think of Evolution will be Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley, and I think Rhea Ripley will win, and I'm glad. I'm not glad. Rhea Ripley is going to win because she hasn't been Io Sky. They really Rhea mentioned it a little bit, but they never really made it a part of the story. And after that video package that aired on Monday Night Raw, it had me even super convinced that Rhea Ripley will win. And they've been teasing when Stephanie first got on the roster, Rhea versus Stephanie Valkyria, and I think they can pull that trigger at Clash in Paris. They're both from international countries, so their home state is international, although they live in America, but they're from these international countries, so they can tell a story with the international crowds, because everybody loves Rhea Ripley, everybody loves Stephanie Valkyria, so this should be a good matchup here and there. And I'm gonna be honest, I know that everybody say you can't do a face versus face, and I think this matchup you can, but I think hear me out when I say this. I think the way Rhea wins is by cheating, because Like, if WWE smart, I feel like they need to turn Rhea Ripley here. Not because she's not super over with the crowd, but she needs a new character, in my opinion. She needs to be that bloody Rhea Ripley that everybody loved. And I feel like ever since the mommy gimmick came on, maybe I wouldn't say she's gotten a little soft, but the booking has been a little bit soft for Rhea. But if you make Rhea just that bloody Rhea Ripley that she always be saying on the microphone, and she does it by cheating and doing anything necessary to get her title back, I think a lot of people will boo Rhea because they love Io Sky, and yeah, so I think Rhea might turn heel in this matchup, cheating to beat Io Sky, and after this, I think personally we will get a form of Damage Control, or like Io, Kari Sane, and Asuka at SummerSlam, with potential Asuka turning heel, potentially. But yeah, let's go through the matchup again. I have JC Jane retain the title. I have a new champion in Rhea Ripley. I have a new tag champs in Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. I have Stephanie Valkyrie win the Battle Royal. I have Tiffany Stratton retain her title. I have Jade Cargill continue the momentum, beating Naomi. And I have Becky Lynch retaining the Women's IC title at Evolution. These are my thoughts and predictions about Evolution 2025. Comment down below your predictions on this pay-per-view coming up. And if you agree with me, comment down below as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. Subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe if you're brand new. Follow me on all social media pages, Instagram, Twitter. And thank you so much for watching my videos, and have a good one.